I found out she cheated and stayed, thinking it was just once. I tried to forgive, rebuild, and believe in love again until I found out there were others. Hey, Reddit. Not really sure why I'm writing this. I guess I just want it somewhere, all of it. The parts I can't say out loud without looking like a fool, because the truth is, I stayed. I found out she cheated, and I stayed, because I loved her, and I wanted to believe love was enough. Her name's Emily. We were together 5.5 years. Met through mutual friends at a New Year's Eve party. She was smart, sarcastic, always a little too sharp for the room. I liked that about her. I was quieter, more grounded. She called me the calm to her chaos. I thought. We balanced each other. We moved in together after year 2. Talked about marriage after year 3. She even sent me ring styles once. Subtle, excited. I saved them. It happened in year 5. I noticed her pulling back. Not all at once, just slowly, fewer texts, less affection, always tired, always busy. I chalked it up to stress. She'd just started a new job, long hours, demanding boss. I told myself that explained everything. I didn't want to believe what I already knew. I found out by accident. She left her phone unlocked on the coffee table, got up to shower. A message popped up from a name I didn't recognize. No emoji, just, I still think about that night. I froze. Didn't touch it right away, just sat there, pulse in my ears. Then I opened the thread. It wasn't sexts. It wasn't love letters. It was worse than that. Intimacy, inside jokes, nostalgia. I miss your laugh. Do you think about me when he's around? Wish I could hold you again. The last message. It was supposed to be just once. I didn't say anything when she came out of the shower. Just handed her the phone. Her face changed immediately. She didn't lie, didn't try to spin it, didn't accuse me of snooping. She just sat on the floor and cried, said she was sorry, said it happened during a rough patch, that it meant nothing, that she was scared of how disconnected we'd become. I asked her, was it just once? She nodded. I believed her. We broke up. For 3 weeks, I stayed at a friend's place. She texted me every day. Apologies, long paragraphs, songs we used to love, screenshots of therapy appointments she'd booked, said she was doing the work, that she realized how deeply she'd hurt me, that she didn't want to lose what we'd built, and against every instinct, I went back. The first month back was brutal. Awkward silences, dead sleep, half conversations. We went to therapy. Weekly. I showed up angry. She showed up tearful. We were both honest. It felt like we were clawing our way out of the grave. Sometimes we even laughed again. She started holding my hand more, texted again like she used to, asked me how I was, and meant it. I let myself believe it was behind us, that maybe love really could survive betrayal if both people chose to fight. And I did. I fought hard. I wanted it to be true. Then one night, her phone buzzed again. We were cooking. She was chopping garlic. I was stirring pasta. She picked it up, froze. Face went pale. I saw the name, Alex. Not the first guy, someone else. And that's when I realized it wasn't just once. I didn't say anything at first. She looked at me like I'd already caught her, which I had. I asked, "Who's Alex?" She opened her mouth, then closed it, swallowed. It wasn't physical. That didn't help, because I already knew she lied once, and people who lie once don't get the benefit of the word only. I walked out, left the food on the stove, took my keys, my wallet, nothing else, drove to a gas station and sat in the car for 2 hours. Didn't cry, didn't yell, just sat there. That's the worst part of betrayal, not the drama. It's the stillness, the way time slows down and your body goes numb because your mind is too loud, she texted nonstop. Please come back. I'll explain. I didn't mean for this to happen. It was never about them. It was always you. I didn't respond, but I didn't block her either. And I hated myself for that. She emailed me a PDF. No, really, a literal PDF, titled Timeline PDF. Like I was a client and she was filing a damage report. Inside were explanations, dates, messages. According to her, there were 2 others, both short, both during emotional disconnects, both mistakes. I read every word, every explanation, it wasn't serious, I was scared you didn't love me anymore. Then I threw my phone across the room and screamed into my hands because none of it changed the truth. She didn't cheat because I failed her. She cheated because I trusted her, and she knew she could lie. I stayed at my brother's. Didn't tell him why at first. Just said we were figuring some things out. He didn't press until I finally broke and told him everything. He said, "She's lucky you didn't lose your mind." I said, "She did. Just not all at once." She showed up at my brother's apartment, cried on the porch, said she wanted to talk face to face. I said, "We already did that. Last year, after the first one." She said, "I didn't know how to stop sabotaging things." I laughed. Not because it was funny, because I couldn't believe I almost gave her my last name. I went back once, just to get my things. She watched from the hallway, didn't speak. When I zipped up the last bag, she said, "I didn't think you'd ever actually leave." I said, "That's the problem. I haven't blocked her. Not because I want to talk, but because I want her to see what silence looks like when it's not a threat. It's a reality." I check my texts sometimes, even now. Not because I hope she messaged, but because part of me is still furious I ever believed she wouldn't. Forgiveness isn't always the high road. Sometimes it's just a dead end you turn around in too late. I thought moving out would feel clean, like the final scene of a breakup movie. Walk away, fade to black, roll credits. Instead, I couldn't sleep in silence. Couldn't eat full meals. Couldn't stop checking over my shoulder for someone who wasn't there anymore. Turns out when you grieve betrayal, you don't just lose the person. You lose the version of yourself that believed in them. I started going through old photos. Eddie, first to delete them, then I just stopped on one. She was laughing. I was looking at her like she held the whole sky. I remembered that night. She told me I made her feel safe for the first time in her life. I wish I could forget that part. People kept telling me I was handling it well, because I didn't scream, because I wasn't posting, because I didn't light all her stuff on fire. But what does well even mean? Some nights, I stared at the ceiling and thought, if I let her back in again, would it feel better than this? And that scared me more than anything else. I almost messaged her, not to fix things, just to ask why. But I stopped myself because I knew even if she answered, it wouldn't be the truth, or worse, it would be, and I wouldn't want to hear it. I went back to therapy, told my therapist everything, the PDF, the lies, the silence that came after. He asked, what would it mean if you accepted that she knew what she was doing every step of the way? I didn't answer, because I didn't want to say it out loud. It would mean she didn't love me. At least not in any way that mattered. I saw her at a grocery store. 3 weeks since we spoke. She looked thinner, makeup free, eyes red. We made eye contact, just for a second. She didn't smile. Neither did I. She opened her mouth like she might say something. I turned around and walked out. Left my cart, didn't look back. I downloaded a dating app, deleted it within 2 days. Not because I wasn't ready, because every profile felt fake. Every hey felt hollow. Every part of me felt used up. Love started to feel like a punchline. My brother asked if I hated her. I said no, but I hated who. I became around her. How small I let myself get. How often I begged for scraps of honesty and called it fighting for us. He didn't say anything, Just poured me another drink. She texted me on what would have been our anniversary. I'm sorry for all of it. That was it. No explanations, no promises, just 7 words. I didn't reply, because some people say sorry to feel better, not to make things better. I deleted her number the next morning, not in anger, not as a statement, just to stop giving my grief somewhere to send itself. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing. I moved into a new place. Not far. Still the same city. Still the same job. But it felt like a reset. Fresh walls. Clean energy. No furniture that remembered her. Just me. Quiet mornings. Space to breathe. Sometimes I still catch myself glancing at my phone around the time she used to text. Muscle memory, I guess. But now I just set it back down. No flinch. No ache, just stillness. One of my friends got engaged. His fiancée gave this long, emotional toast at the party, all about loyalty, commitment, choosing each other. I smiled, clapped, then went home and sat in the dark for an hour. Not bitter, just still learning how to want that again. My therapist asked if I trusted myself yet. I said I was trying. He said, that's the only part that matters. And for the first time in a long time, I believed him. I stopped talking about her, not because I'm over it, but because she doesn't deserve space in every conversation anymore. The people who know. The people who don't need to. She's not part of the plot anymore, just a footnote in a better story. I went out on a real date, someone new, kind eyes, no games. She asked about my last relationship. I told the truth, but not the whole saga. Just enough to be honest, not enough to bleed. She nodded, didn't press, and we ordered dessert. I saw a quote online that said, "You never lose people. You lose illusions." I saved it because she wasn't who I lost. I lost the idea that love would always come with honesty. That's what hurt most. She texted one more time, months later. I hope you're doing okay. I stared at it and then deleted it without opening it because I was okay and she didn't need to know that anymore. I found the ring I bought her in the back of a drawer, still in the box. I held it for a second, not with sadness. Just memory. Then I pawned it the next morning. Used the money for a solo trip I'd been putting off for years. Healing didn't come quick. It was slow, steady, and quiet. Some days still sting, but most days I feel clean. And that's enough.